Email is still the primary communication channel for most small businesses. And if you're like many people running a business, managing that inbox can be one of the more trying parts of your job. I've talked with a number of you receiving hundreds of emails a day who've had to resort to triage to stay afloat. Today we're going to look at some tools to help you in that battle with your inbox. I'm Bill Eastman, and this is the AI for Your Business channel. It's the channel business people can come to quickly learn how they can leverage AI. Click on the subscribe button below to make sure not to miss any tips and tools. Today's episode is going to be a bit different in that we're going to include non-AI tools for managing your inbox as well. The issue of email management is so important that it's worth including these. Microsoft Outlook is still the most popular business email software, so we're going to focus on it today. We'll use the Outlook Classic interface because I think it's more intuitive than Outlook New. Our starting point for inbox management is Outlook Rules. Rules allow you to use criteria like who the message is from to take actions like sending the message to a specific folder. You can create rules by going into File and then to Manage Rules and Alerts. But I'll demonstrate creating rules from the home screen because it's easier to follow. The easiest way to create a rule is by either right-clicking on a message and choosing rules, or by choosing rules in the menu bar after you've highlighted a message. Choosing Create Rule from the drop-down box opens a pop-up window with some default conditions to use. You can use from to subject, for instance. So you can indicate a message from so-and-so or on a specific subject requires an action. And you need to be careful with the subject, though, because the subject wording has to be exact. You also see some default actions to take when the condition is met, including playing a sound or moving to a specific folder. But if we go into advanced options, we see our choices go way beyond these defaults. It begins with a list of possible conditions. Let's check some of them. You can see if a message is sent only to you. Note when I check it, it appears in the rule description below. You can have it check the level of importance or sensitivity. Note that when I check one, there is an underlined text in the rule description. Just click on the text and choose the value you want. You can check whether your name is in the to or CC box. If you check that you're only CC'd on an email, you may want to treat it differently than if you're in the to line. We can also check if specific words are in the header or body of the email. That gets you away from the problem of having to match the exact subject line in the email. We also see a much wider range of actions. Of course, we can delete, forward, or remove the emails to a specific folder, but we can also put the emails into a category, which allows you to color code them with similar emails in your inbox. It's a bit like conditional formatting, but categorizing allows you to filter for messages from a particular category. If you're busy but know you'll need to get back to the message, you can flag it for follow-up later. Or if you don't want to delete the message but don't want to bother with it either, you can just mark it as read. Now, once we've chosen our conditions and actions, we can identify exceptions. This is where we start getting into Boolean logic like you might see with an advanced Google search. For instance, you could send all messages from someone to the trash unless the message contains certain words in the subject line. Or let's say you get all sorts of group mails and it's too hard to identify all the different senders to direct to the trash. In that case, you could create a rule to send all incoming messages to the trash except where you're in the to or the CC line. Once you've gone through these steps, you can give the rule a name and decide if you want to apply it to all the messages in your inbox. Here's an example of a rule in action that you might find useful. Say you have a very important client and need to stay right on top of communication with them. You can actually set up a rule to send a text anytime you receive an email from them. After you've set the condition for the sender, in Actions, select Forward to People or Public Group. That opens up your address book. And down in the To line, you can enter your phone number, @ and then what is known as the SMS Gateway. Here I'm using the AT&T gateway, but I'll include the gateways for other carriers in the show notes. And once you've created the rule, these emails will be forwarded as text, which, by the way, you can respond to from within your text app. Okay, once you've created rules, you may need to edit them from time to time. To do that, just go into Manage Rules and Alerts in the Rules menu. Outside the Rules tool, conditional formatting can be useful for managing your inbox. Say you have key employees or clients that you want to make sure you don't overlook. To manage that, you can go into Views, then View Settings, then Conditional Formatting. Here you can add a condition, give it a special font, and from then on, those messages will stand out in your inbox. Another useful tool is Ignore. If an email thread has no interest to you and you haven't set up a rule handling it, you can right-click on one of the messages and go down to Ignore. That will send it and all the other messages in that thread to the trash. Speaking of email threads, to keep a long thread from jamming up your inbox, when each message comes in, they're all separate, just go into View and click Show as Conversations. And that'll group all the messages in a thread into a single entry in your inbox. Okay, that's the non-AI side of inbox management. But how can we supplement that using AI tools? Today we're going to focus on Microsoft Copilot, but there are a few caveats to using it. First, Microsoft Copilot only works in Outlook if you're on a Microsoft Business or Education account, or if you're using a Microsoft email address like Outlook.com or MSN.com. So Gmail and Yahoo addresses won't work. And if you've set up your Microsoft account using a Gmail address, then it's complicated to get things to work even if you create an Outlook.com email address. Furthermore, Copilot's full capabilities within Outlook are only available for Microsoft Business or Education accounts. And another caveat is that Copilot only works on your inbox. So you can't use it on project folders and the like. Therefore, I think it's best to use Copilot in combination with rules. That said, first we'll look at using Copilot to summarize emails. Let's say you have a long email chain that will take 10 minutes to read through. Just like ChatGPT summarizing a long document, you can click Summarize and boil it down to just the information you need from that email thread. And if the document has an attachment, Copilot can summarize the document. That can really save time if you have long reports and proposals. And if a spreadsheet's well formatted, Copilot can even analyze that. However, this capability is only available if you have a business or education account, so I can't demonstrate it here today. On the flip side, Copilot can help you draft an email. Once you start a new message, you can go to Copilot and click Draft Copilot. Copilot brings up a window for you to enter a prompt, and just like with ChatGPT, the more detail you include in the prompt, the more detailed your message will be. Here are directions for a meeting follow-up message. And with that direction, the email that it spits out looks pretty solid, but we have some quick adjustment options as well. We can make the message longer, shorter, more formal, more casual, and so on. Or we can start over by clicking Regenerate. And remember, if you want the response to be in your voice, then just include some samples of your own writing at the end of the prompt. Here we've written a message and want a little editorial oversight. We can use the Coach 'em by Copilot option to do this. It comes out with suggestions, and then you can choose whether or not to adopt them. Now, I'll admit these uses of Copilot aren't that far removed from just using ChatGPT to summarize and compose emails, and they don't have much to do with managing your inbox. But in a personal Microsoft account, that's as far as we can go with Copilot in Outlook. To review Copilot's inbox management capabilities, I'm just going to share some screenshots from the web and take you through those. With a business account, you'll be able to open the Copilot chat pane by clicking on the icon in the upper right corner. There we see some suggested prompts, and at the bottom of the pane should be an icon to see even more suggestions. We can ask Copilot to create rules by describing them, but you may want to get some experience creating rules through the toolbar first. But look at some of these cool options that go beyond what you can do with the rules. Show me recent emails where I was mentioned. summarize my emails from the past 2 days categorized by a project. Who can I ask about this topic? And these capabilities will go a long way towards keeping you on top of your inbox. But as I mentioned, Copilot can only work with your inbox. So once again, try to use them in combination with rules. And if nothing else, that'll reduce the chance that Copilot gets confused by all the junk in your inbox. Here are a few more suggested prompts that you might find useful, such as, what are the most urgent emails today? Show me emails about this topic. What action items do I have from today's emails? What messages have I gotten from Bob, VIP client, etc.? And this will summarize and pull out action items, and you can use this to have Copilot draft a response. Or you can say, remind me to follow up on this topic tomorrow, and Copilot will create a reminder in your Outlook calendar. So using these suggestions as a starting point, I'm sure you'll come up with a lot of great prompts on your own. Okay, that's it for today. I hope between rules and Copilot that you've seen some ways that you can really reduce the time you spend managing your inbox. If you have questions or would like more details, please leave a comment below. Next episode, we'll be looking at intermediate prompting techniques. To really get the most out of these new AI tools, these advanced practices are essential. So please subscribe to not miss these and other ways to leverage AI. And if you feel like you've gotten some value today, please leave a like. Till then, good luck with your business.